Japan's G1 is back in full swing. The first 4 days have gone down, and what an event it's been so far. Dark Side of the Ring had an episode about Canyon. Lots of other stuff in wrestling as well. We'll talk about it because it's time for Markout Mania, streaming live Saturday morning. We're live on Markout Mania. It's Markout time.
Yeah, all right. Good job, Pedro. That's kind of cool. Good job.
A little Jackson Brown.
Let's mark out Mania. Let's mark it now. Let's mark out Mania. Let's mark it now.
Oh, hey, hola, amigos, and welcome to the Mark Out Mania.
Yeah.
We've got James the Extreme Sorno. How are you?
I am well, my friend. Ready to do it all. Ready to get ready. Ready to dive in and ready to mark out, baby.
And
the Kmart special effects.
It's the God of Thunder, Zeus King Dark. How are you?
I'm good. That's a loaded question, but yeah.
That's a loaded question.
No, I'm good. How are you, Pedro?
What? I'm all right.
So, all right. So let me start this off here.
Oh,
so,
yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. All right. So I've listened to the last few episodes of Crap Talk, Pedro's other wrestling podcast, with the man Bean, and and we're all friends with Bean. We all, we all have conversations with Bean and on Twitter and things. And I'm just wanting to know, like, when the hell is Bean gonna come and do a guest spot on Markout Mania?
Look at that. That's a good question, Zeus. Good job.
We're too early for him.
Look, he can get his ass out of bed.
Angie can get up, and so can Angie's up early. She's done the show. And Casey's gotten up early and done the show. And so did Melissa, when she lived in San Diego, got up and did the show. So,
oh man, we haven't had Melissa. We haven't talked to her in a long time.
Yeah.
She was on the toy episode, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's no
we
excuse.
haven't had Angie on in a while either.
No, we need some.
And hey, you know what's coming up, don't y'all?
Huh?
Y'all know what's coming up. This is episode 147.
I know.
We're getting close to 150. We need some guests for 150.
I didn't even think we make 50 episodes, much less 150.
No, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
We should be about ready to hit the 3-year mark too, aren't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think our first episode was in May of 2018. So
it was May 12, 2018. Wow.
So
we've
May 2019 one. May, yeah.
Wow.
Shit, man. Wow, look at that.
3.5 years. Wow.
Yeah, November it'll be like 3.5 years.
3.5 years of Pedro plucking his guitar and Zeus raining down fire and brimstone and thunder.
The God of Thunder.
God of Thunder.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just putting the challenge out there to Bean.
Wow.
I say we should get him on the show.
You may have to challenge him artistically, like draw a gauntlet being thrown at Robo Bean or something.
Yeah, slapping Robo Bean across the face.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I was not expecting that.
He should take that stupid voice box and throw it out of his throat like Kane did. Wow.
Hey.
I will not talk like this. I don't want to be your friend. You are an evil mutant.
That's one of those things. Like, if you were to show someone who doesn't watch wrestling, if you were to show them like when Kane first speaks, you'll be like, you would be so embarrassed. Like once he watched it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, now speaking of being embarrassed about wrestling. Okay, so
we're here we go.
Listen, all right, so we're all of the age where we remember the age before the Undertaker came, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And everybody remembers how ridiculous and stupid the Undertaker was when he first walked out, and you looked at him and you're like, really, this is what you're doing, you know. I mean, he literally had bright purple gloves and the hat, and he just looked like
I think he had like a
fucking human growth hormone cousin.
He was walking out with Bruce Pritchard wearing all white, and he's wearing all black. Yeah.
Wasn't his gloves like gray at first?
I don't know.
Remember them but continue. Yeah. Yes.
So, my point is, his entire career, okay, 30 out of his 33-year career, the Undertaker was in WWE FE as the Undertaker in some way, shape, or form. I mean, he never, he's never not been the Undertaker. He's been, American Badass, and for a while.
There's been variations on the gimmick, but it's always been the Undertaker gimmick.
Right. And it's somebody had posted, and of course this is I'm sure it was mostly meant just because there's so much, AEW versus WWE, talk on Twitter, but somebody posted, Sting greater than Undertaker. And, of course somebody, else was like, no, it's not, it's like, and I'm just like, it's all kind of how you look at it. It honestly, their careers have both been pretty big, for each guy. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not really worth, debating, because I mean, yeah, Sting was only in WWE for 4 years, but he had 3 matches.
Yeah. Actually, thanks to Seth Rollins, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but my whole thing is like, of course, a lot of people are like, oh, well, the streak and the WrestleManias and everything. And I'm just like going, I'm like, yeah, but that's where you worked. I mean, you didn't have to change jobs. I mean, Sting had to change jobs. He had to go he went from WCW to TNA, and that's, it wasn't like everybody there was, completely, on board with him being there. And I mean, he didn't know exactly what he was getting into. I mean, he'd been, part of WCW, and I mean, I'm sure, the people that were there were thinking, of course, we got to, capitalize on this and whatever. But, when you change up, it's rough. It says a lot if you can roll with whatever punches and it's
absolutely, especially going from WCW to TNA. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, and I mean they picked up a lot of former WCW guys. Of course they did, but so did WWE. In the early 2000s. So
Pedro's having internet issues, so bear with him.
Oh, okay. And so I mean, it's just when I don't think that there's a huge amount of I mean they each did a whole lot in their career. I don't think there's I don't think it's worth arguing over that either one of them is amazingly better than the other. I mean, Absolutely. It all comes down to either favoritism or tribalism or whatever. But
is this Sting versus the Undertaker? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've missed a lot of this conversation.
You can like both, and then you can appreciate both men and both their careers.
Right. I mean, you can like neither one of them and still just, kind of factually say, okay, well, they each did really well for where they went. I mean,
I just personally don't agree with Sting being at the ring at 60 plus years old, and because God knows what can happen. But again, that's me.
Well, I mean, for me, it's what the thing with Sting, like taking bumps and stuff, is less about his age and more about his spinal stenosis condition. So that's like people make a big deal when he takes like a crazy bump from like Cage or something in the past year, but I'm like, it doesn't have to be a crazy bump. It can just be like, I mean, Perro Aguirre Jr., the bump that killed him was just falling onto the ropes for the setup for the 619. Like just falling on his knees and hitting the ropes. That's the bump that killed him.
Yeah, and like Misawa, I mean,
he just took a backdrop suplex.
Bumps to the back of the neck. It's like it's no wonder a side
I give both men credit in the fact that actually both Sting and Taker were given these huge titanic pushes, and they both thrived.
Yeah.
Because you could have easily faltered. But actually Sting thrived, Taker thrived. I mean, Sting and Flair had some of the best matches I've ever seen on television. I mean, and Undertaker and Hell in a Cell. I mean, come on, they're legendary. So they both thrived in their roles, and they both at one time carried their companies.
Right, they both did a lot, and and they were at the top of where they worked at for a really super long time. I'm like, I think
it's stupid to put one greater than the other. If you ask me.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's too close to really debate.
I give Sting all the credit in the world for going to TNA. I'm sorry, Pedro, but you go wrestle at TNA now. You got to stick your tail between your legs at some point.
I will make a judgment call here.
Go ahead.
Surfer Sting is better.
Oh my God!
I do like Surfer Sting better than any of the Undertaker stuff. So I'm like, Surfer Sting for me.
Hey, come on, man! I like the skyscrapers. Come on.
I mean, you have we may
see Mark Callis and Dangerous Dan Spivey. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy thing too. The fact that it's Sting's out there doing it when most of his contemporaries are not.
Yeah.
Right. That is true.
He shouldn't be doing it.
He should though. He should. He should not. He should not
be doing it. But yeah.
But I mean that's.
I didn't see the match, but I heard people talking about the match against FTR. What was it like, James?
It's hard for me to explain it. It's because I'm not an AEW fan. So I'm gonna put it to you like this: it's an AEW match for an AEW fan. If you like their style of wrestling, in-ring action, and storytelling, you're gonna like it. You're going to think mediocrity is the best thing you've seen on television. So, but that standpoint, okay. I thought Sting moved pretty well in the ring, especially for the bumps he's taken. And at his age, he's in ring shape. He's not Sting WCW ring shape, but he's in ring shape for AEW.
Right, because
he doesn't have to move a lot. Right.
Right. Sting in ring shape was 20 years ago.
Right, exactly.
And actually, that last match with him and Flair at that final Nitro was pretty terrible.
Yeah, that was god awful.
Yeah.
Okay. So that match in AEW, for an AEW match, it was what they wanted. Again, he's in ring shape for AEW. Doesn't have to move a lot. He'll do 2 or 3 moves consecutive, and then he's fine. He's good, And then, you have the most overrated wrestler in history, Darby Allin, taking all these crazy bumps. So then you're fine.
Darby Allin is very athletic. I'll say this for him.
Athletic and overrated are two different things.
Right, but I mean,
because athletic is Chris Canyon. He was just as athletic.
There's a match I saw one time. I can't remember who he was wrestling. It was in Progress in the UK, and he was going through all this catch wrestling sequence with this British wrestler, and I was like, this is Darby. Like, this is. I hadn't seen. I don't think the AEW thing had happened yet, so it was like the stuff I had seen from him to this point. I was like, I'd never seen him do this before. So I was very surprised that he.
I'm not saying he can't do it, but he's not doing it.
Yeah, he does.
Because AEW. This is what they want him to do.
Occasionally, I see these things where he shows he can do stuff, but he chooses to do this like stupid stuff. Like repeatedly, over and over again. Darby makes a decision to do the stupid stuff.
Like just like Adam Cole's debut match against Frankie Kazarian, the whole arena is chanting "This is awesome," and they're chanting "This is awesome" at a bunch of mediocrity. I can name 10 Adam Cole matches 10 times in NXT that was better than what I just saw in AEW. You know, so it's what AEW is putting out and saying, you know, actually, here it is. Whether you like it or not, whether the in-ring work is good or not, this is what you're going to like. And the fans go crazy for it. I mean, you know, it showed again last night with CM Punk and that big guy. You know, he's trying to do some kind of Huna or whatever, and the big fuck up. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah. So, and then, you know, they played it off on TV as CM Punk doing a counter move. And, you know, it was okay. But again, this is my theory of not having house shows, and you can't work on things together and build that chemistry. You know, it's just not my style of wrestling. And then I'm the first one to admit, I'm the first one to hit it over the head with the hammer, but I'm watching it every week for Adam Cole. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching this, and I'm like, I see why these fans are going goo goo gaga, going crazy over this shit. But again, it's shit. In my eyes, it's shit.
Oh. I'm watching a clip of Adam Cole and Luchasaurus trade these horrible punches, and people in the crowd look like bored in the front row.
So it's
Adam Cole is getting the better of near 7 foot tall, or however they advertise it, Luchasaurus instead of fist.
You know, it all goes back to my thing. You know, you have, you know, Bryan Danielson and you have Kenny Omega, and you put that on your show as the first match of the show in the Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium in New York. I mean, come on, man. Danielson's been here, 3 weeks AEW tops, and there's no build-up, there's no story. You know, get other people involved and, you know, build it up, the story, the angle for 2 months, and it writes itself. You have TV written by itself, done. It's done. And you know, it's something big, it's something epic. Instead, it's Crash TV, you know. AEW blows their wad, you know. 5 minutes, they're in, they're out, they're done. That's it. That's exactly what they're doing. And you know, I'm like, really? There's no build-up. There's no foreplay. There's no nothing. No tickle me. Get me excited.
Damn it, James.
He's equating to AEW to porn, where he'd rather watch the softcore porn. And
but these are two guys that, you know, if you take away all the bullshit that they're doing for their company, you know, can actually get down in the ring and give you a good 30-minute match. That would be awesome. It's in them.
Wow.
You know, it's in them, Pedro. It's in them. But they don't do it. They don't go that route. They blow their wad instantly. First match on TV, boom, boom, boom. It's over. That's it. Done.
I'll try to talk about it really fast. I don't know if my internet will cooperate, but I was surprised that the match was so average, that it was so like, I mean, if you've seen Kenny Omega's AEW matches, I'm specifying his AEW matches, okay? If you've seen his big AEW matches, he did all the same stuff here. He did the running in place, the hand stuff, the facial expressions, the poses, and then his spammy stuff. And then so it was very much structured like a lot of his AEW matches, which is kind of it's not great. It's just kind of he just kind of does his shtick or whatever. And then you just add Bryan Danielson's like WWE spots. Like just add that into the formula and you basically get the match. Like I was surprised kind of like how predictable it ended up like playing out in terms of the structure of the match. I will give them I want to give them some props. There were a few because Omega, as y'all know, likes to build up to some like big, like dangerous spots, quote unquote dangerous bumps or whatever in his matches. There are a few spots, bumps that were meant to be like, the idea is meant to be dangerous for Daniel Bryan because of his neck injuries and stuff. Like you should be like, oh no, but they did them in such a safe way. I was impressed. Like I've never seen these.
Yeah, they took care of each other in the ring. That's what I'm saying. You got two guys who know what they're doing and can put on a hell of a show for you.
But this was a very okay. I saw a lot of people talking about this match this week, and they were saying I saw people saying stuff like, "Oh, the WWE held, Bryan Danielson back. We're getting to see all the stuff that he wasn't able to do in the WWE." I watched this match. He did all the things that he was doing in the WWE. He did not pull out new shit in this match. He did not pull out anything new. And I was like, did people just not watch his
those people who are commenting those people who are saying that are just looking through rose-colored glasses. Okay?
That's it just like it didn't happen in AEW and now it's happening in AEW? Oh, he's never done this before because stuff never happened unless it's in AEW. My biggest complaint about the match, I really don't have a lot of complaints about the wrestling, just other than it was just shockingly average kind of match. Like it was, I was like, oh, it's just kind of a match.
It reminds me of, not as big as build up, but it kind of reminds me of the Hogan Goldberg thing at Georgia Dome. That they threw that together with the quickness. I mean, you could have built that up and really milked it. They didn't milk the storyline yet. They could have milked it so well.
I have some complaints about the commentary. I have some big complaints about the commentary.
I mean, is this anything new for AEW?
Well, let me explain the commentary.
I mean, go ahead and explain, but I'm just like, color me not shocked.
Yeah, it's old news. Okay. Yeah, the commentary sucks.
Okay, one of my biggest beefs with the commentary is ties into something we talked about that week. We talked about the All Out and all that. You remember when we talked about was it Britt Baker and Botchlander, the thing where Orange Cassidy like started yelling from outside?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a big thing because he rarely ever talks, and the commentary did nothing with it. And I was like, I don't even like AEW. I even know this is supposed to be a thing, right? So this match, they were going for 30 minutes. Like you can tell kind of some things they're going 30 minutes. They never mention the time at all until under the last minute of the match.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm like,
there's a 30-minute time limit in a match, and you got to push the fact that there's a clock throughout the whole match.
Yes. Well, we've all seen enough wrestling from so many decades, from so many countries. We've seen repeatedly where if you're going to a draw, the commentary will make the time an issue because it's part of the narrative. And the wrestlers, the only thing they can do is like they can escalate the desperation and stuff, right? They can escalate the desperation as the match goes on, but you need the commentary to push that narrative to the viewing audience. Commentary mentions nothing about the time until randomly, out of nowhere, the ring announcer goes, 1 minute left. Like,
Uh-oh.
Pedro?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry. The ring announcer.
It's like 1 minute left, and then he left.
He says 1 minute left, and then they don't even jump on that part, right? They wait until a few seconds more, and then they're like, excrement or Excalibur or whatever is like, 45 seconds. And
that goes back to my point of production, Pedro. If you don't have all your ducks in a row in these production meetings, that's why you have to have right production meetings, everything right with the production. You have to have all your ducks in a row. You have to have everybody in sync doing everything to promote the narrative of the match. James, and they don't have it.
James, was Jim Ross commentating on this match?
If I remember correctly, I don't remember. You know what? That's a good point. Yeah, he was, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm. It's a rhetorical question. Yeah, like he's Jim Ross was there. Tony Schiavone's there. We've all heard them commentate time limit draws, and they push the narrative during the time throughout the match because it's going to be a thing. You want.
I think at this point in their careers, I honestly think at this point in careers, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross are folding it in.
And I'm not putting this on Omega or Daniel Bryan or Danielson because they were trying to escalate the desperation as the match went on, and the commentary's not doing anything with it until the ring announcer just out of nowhere, 1 minute left, and then suddenly
I can't. They're horrible.
So I bring this up because what did they spend like 70% of this match talking about? They spent like 70% not even talking about the match, but going like, oh, this is so good. Oh, this is so great. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this is, if you're a wrestling fan, this is what you want.
It's pushing, it's pushing AEW on being the greatest thing since sliced bread. This is amazing. This is so good. This is the best. You're not going to see this. I mean, this is everybody's looking at this. Look at this. I mean, this is amazing what you're looking at.
How is self-congratulation like some weird like commentary? I don't get this. Like you're not even really pushing what's going on in the match. There is one point they were so involved in jerking themselves off that like Kenny Omega had gained momentum in the match, and so we're about a minute into him gaining momentum, the advantage in the match, and then Excalibur's like, oh, a lot of things have really changed in this match. We kind of lost track of, and I was like, what the fuck?
I don't even pay attention to Excalibur. He's just looking to have a job. Okay, number one. Okay, I usually mute my TV every time I have it on AEW until Adam Cole shows up. Okay, and then even then, it's like it's hard to listen to. I agree, it's hard. But again, it's like what Zeus said. It's par for the course. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
This is exactly how it is. You know?
But see,
people celebrate mediocrity.
This was my problem a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Like, this is going to corrupt everything eventually. Like, everything we watch is going to be like this. There was a match yesterday on the G1. Yoshihashi, Jeff Cobb. Was that it, Zeus?
I watched that, yeah.
Okay, so there's one point in the match where Yoshihashi just spamming super kicks. Like his offense just becomes super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick. And then he pulls out a Canadian Destroyer. And I'm like, I've never seen Yoshihashi do a Canadian Destroyer ever. And I've never seen him just like go on like a 3-5 minute sprint of nothing but super kicks.
You've been watching the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like the match was going fine, and then suddenly they're doing this, and I was like, why is
it's infiltrating? It's infiltrating everywhere. Yeah, NXT UK, New Japan, it's infiltrating. It is. I'm sad to say it is. It is. You know? Get thrown off a helicopter. 1, 2, he kicks out, gets hit in the head with a paper cup. He's out cold.
So, James, you watched all of Dynamite. What can you tell us about the stuff that wasn't the two things we discussed already?
Honestly, I just watched the show.
Too, right?
Honestly, I just watched the show. I just watched the show for Adam Cole. The rest sucks. Okay, I I try to watch it.
What about Cody Malachi Black? Because I saw a bunch of air whiffing and air shot.
Well, yeah, that's because I understand that too. I mean, I blame that on the TV, on the cameraman not knowing actually how to show Malachi Black matches. Yeah, because that kick is dangerous. You really knock somebody out, and then you see with that. So I understand that. I don't want to get hit with that. I just became a father. Don't hit me. But again, it goes back to production. It's up to the cameraman to be at the right angle to not show the whiff. Don't show the whiff.
You make a good point, James. Do you remember the Wrestle Kingdom this year?
Mm-hmm.
You remember Jay White Ibushi on night 2? So when I watched it, I remember the finish. I was down on the finish because Ibushi didn't connect. He kind of whiffed. And then we saw the video card. Remember on the New Japan Collection?
Yeah.
And they had it from a different angle, and it looked great. The finish looked great there, and you're like, "Oh, it's all about what angle you're showing it from."
And that all falls into production. If everyone was on the same page, all the cameramen would know when that move is going to be done. And they can get their cameras in position to catch the best possible looking angle. So, because you're not going to hit him because you don't want to get hit with that kick. So you got to make sure that everything's get pulled off precisely, done right, shown right. But no, AEW just says fuck it, and you get, you see You see Malachi Black missing, like 8-inch kicks, from the face of Cody Rhodes, who's overselling because he has to.
Hey, a question about that. I heard the crowd turned on Cody Rhodes, or
yeah, they were booing the shit out of him.
What about that cape? Like Zeus was bringing that up. That long, his cape was so long.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Said it's he was like trying to be the dude from my high school academia or something like that.
Oh.
I don't know what he was trying to be, but he looked like a stunt double for Super Dave, okay? It was brutal. It was not a good outfit.
He did look
Super Dave. I can't believe we brought that up. I was like, how many people are not going to know that reference? Did Brandy come out during this?
Yes, she was out there. She slid in the ring. She said Indian style just across from Malachi Black and gave him the double fucking single finger salute and said, fuck you live on air. And the cameras caught it, and that was it.
Did the crowd cheer or boo or what?
Yeah, I didn't. They were like, hey, it was a small pop. I mean, everybody wanted to see what kind of shape Brandy be like. It's Brandy Rhodes,
She popped out the kid, yeah.
Yeah. The kid that ended racism, So, yeah. Hey, listen.
Yeah, I was bringing that up on. Shout out to the Way Too Real. They were on last night. Dante was mentioning about he was saying that some people think racism is like over and stuff. He was saying that racism was still going on, and I was mentioning in the chat that didn't he see the promo that Cody Rhodes ended racism?
Yeah,
And well, racism by having the first interracial marriage and the first interracial baby in the entire history of mankind.
And the entire history of mankind, and the first ever interracial ring, and the first ever interracial television show, and interracial programming on AEW Interracial Wrestling.
I still crack up the thing that makes me laugh about that. I know we really shouldn't be talking about this stuff, but it's just the person he's cutting the promo on is like mixed race himself. His opponent is of mixed race, and he's cutting.
It's again,
Yeah, well, it's that weird thing of not reading a room. You're like, what?
If Woody would have gone to the police, this would have never happened. I mean, come on, man. This guy's brutal. Brutal. Well, we were smoking way too much talk on AEW this morning. I don't know how we ended up on this.
Can I ask you one more thing, James? What about Britt Baker, Ruby Soho? What was that?
That match was an absolute travesty of justice. It sucked. The only thing that looked good in that match was Ruby Soho sold the best looking curb stop in the history of curb stops. That shit would have made Seth Rollins jealous. She sold it unbelievably. But that match itself was horrible.
Can you imagine Seth Rollins watching, going, "I wish Ruby would have taken the curb stomp."
Yeah, he's probably saying, "No, I would have put that shit on Raw." You know, she sold it unbelievable, but that match was not good. Why was the main event? If you're gonna make it your main event, hey, let's not put a World Heavyweight Championship on the main event. Let's put that on the first title, and let's put the Women's Championship on with two girls who barely have ring time with each other, and let's see what we got. And yeah, not good.
Well, hey, okay, so yeah, let's move away from that awful.
I wanted to spend 5 minutes on AEW, not 50. What the hell?
Okay, I apologize. It's my fault. You know how I get going. I apologize. Let's talk about something better, right, Zeus? The G1.
The G1.
Yes, please cleanse the palate.
Well, it's. I was very excited for this year's G1 because, it's been kind of a rough, last year or so. And
yeah, the pandemic made it rough.
Yeah, and so I was really excited, but half of New Japan is in the United States, so it's
God bless Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, and I mean he's here, and of course he's going to be in the Charlotte area, and I'm 800 miles away now. I'm not at all sad. I'm not at all sad about that. I'm just glad I don't have to have a crisis of conscience about going to a show.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him, but yeah. So this year is not quite as star-studded, but we've got competitors like Eugero. Thank God Pieter's back. Yoshihashi. So we got some outstanding.
Yeah, they seem to be stepping up in the matches, so it's not bad.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that first night, that Eugero Ibushi match really wasn't that bad. I was actually, I was quite amazed at how well, Eugero kind of moved in that match. About 10% or so more than usual.
Yeah.
So Pedro, you got any thoughts? Are you still conscious?
I wasn't crazy for that match, the Ibushi Eugero, but because to me,
are we crazy for any match with Eugero in it?
Well, but
his entrance is the best thing about his matches.
Yeah, his entrance. Look,
New Japan has their own version of Kimono Wanalea.
I can tell when the internet goes out because all sound goes away, and I was like, oh. Eugero, he's one of those guys you might miss his matches, but you don't miss his entrance, right?
Right, exactly.
But the idea that Ibushi, Eugero was getting the drop on Ibushi repeatedly in this match, I was like, are we supposed to believe Ibushi is slower than Eugero? I found this hard to swallow. And then he was giving so much to Eugero. I was like, oh man, this is really weird. Why is he giving so much to Eugero? But I guess they want to build him up. And then Eugero won the match.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? This is what they did?
No. Well, if I figured Bushi had his run, that's it. No more. Done deal.
Eugero's match on day 3 was he was fired up for that one. If you haven't seen it, so
I liked Ibushi's match with Ishii. He was so right, Pedro. That's a good match.
But yes, continue with day one.
Shingo and Ishii was really good too.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. What happened after Eugero Ibushi?
I don't
Was
remember.
it Great Okan? Oh, hold on. I got notes. I have notes on everything, but
we'll break out your notes.
Damn it!
I have Barry Windham and Eddie Gilbert on in the background here. So,
nice.
Okay, it was Great Okan and Tonga Loa.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a good match. I thought they had some good chemistry actually. The Tonga Loa's trash talking was great during the match. I thought.
Great O what?
Did you see the way? Yeah, did you see the way he was mocking Great Okan's like entrance repeatedly when he would do stuff. Then you had Toro Yano versus Kenta. Oh, I went out. Toro Yano versus Kenta.
I can't watch Toro Yano matches anymore.
I don't think I was paying attention to that one.
It was the usual Yano stuff. That's the usual.
Oh no! I did see it because he tried to tape him up. Yeah, because there was a lot of that because Kenta had about 40 rolls of tape hidden on him that they kept.
I'm digging Kenta's hair.
Just black, wasn't it?
Oh,
no.
I think he has a little gray or something.
Yeah. Is that grayish silver? Yeah.
Well, besides Ibushi losing on day one, the big two things were the top two matches, right? Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., and Ishii Shingo.
Yes.
Ishii Shingo was good. That was very stiff.
Good, I thought.
What do you think of Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., Zeus?
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was excellent. I was kind of blown away. I was surprised that Zack Sabre won, and I was kind of cheering for it. I have to admit, which is weird because I like Naito a lot, but
yeah,
I was like, oh yes, he should get a push. Like,
yeah, that's the crazy thing is he's he's gotten into the tag team role in the last couple of years because I think it's been the last two or last three. I think it's the last two tag leagues. It's been Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. So they're pretty. They're really doing well in that. So.
Yeah, Gumby and Touchy. Ooh.
Touchy? Is that what you call him?
Yeah.
Touchy. I really liked the story in that Naito Zack Sabre Jr. match because like the longer it went, like Naito like Zack was destroying his knees, but the more it went on, like sort of the stronger the will, if that's the word, like his will to find a way was growing.
Yeah.
In the match, it was like Zack, this guy is not going to give up unless I just take all hope away. And he went on this like thing at the end. He went on the sequence of just like total knee destruction, like just rapidly, boom, 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 just like this. Just eliminating any way out for Naito, and then he put that hold that there's just no way anyone could escape that hold, and Naito had to tap. He tapped, right? Or was it? Yeah. And I was just like, whoa, this. I mean, I thought they did a really great job with that match.
It was a good match. It was good storytelling. It was good stuff. Shingo and Ishii were good.
Yeah, then Shingo and Ishii it's crazy. This is the third G1 in a row. These two have just beat the fuck out of each other, and it's amazing.
And then y'all saw the thing where, I mean, Ishii's hand literally
Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, his hair blew up. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He hit something.
Hmm. I was like, oh shit. And was it at one point he started to move it like Arn Anderson moves his hand? Like all his fingers were stiff. He couldn't move it at one point. I was like, oh. I was like, he hit something. Yeah. I don't know what he hit, but he hit something.
Did you see when the match was over, they were still fighting a bit?
That was the funniest shit.
When the what?
When the match was over, they were still fighting a bit when they're both laying on the ground.
Yeah. That was funny.
I kind of wanted Ishii to win because just because I wanted to see a title match between them. Like we've seen these G1 matches they've had, but it's like we need a title match like between them. But Ishii did not win. So.
No. But yeah, but nobody expected Ishii to win that. Right? I mean, everybody thought Shingo was going to go over. I mean, I would have liked to have Ishii win because I'm a huge Ishii guy, but everybody knew Shingo was going over. But they beat the fuck out of him. Oh, those headbutts were brutal, man. Oh. But once, I would like to see Ishii show up with fucking Suzuki. Ishii with Suzuki, fucking show up at AEW, surprise the shit out of everybody, beat the shit out of everybody. That would be awesome. But I digress.
Yeah. You still want to fantasy book the people in different factions?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care what faction they're in New Japan, that they show would just beat up AEW.
I wish the AEW New Japan stuff didn't all result in like New Japan people jobbing to Moxley.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know what I'm saying? Boom.
You know, the whole thing about that when you mention that, Pedro, it's the same thing used to happen in WCW.
Yeah.
New Japan guys come over here.
Mm-hmm.
They never win.
Yep. Yeah.
Outside of the great,
especially not on a big show.
Yeah.
Ask Yuji Nagata.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was before he was, champion.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Still,
true.
And he did beat. He
was good back then. He was good back then. Yeah, Ultimate Dragon. I used to love when Ultimate Dragon would show up on WCW. I would lose it. I was like, yes.
What was Nakanishi's name in?
Kurosawa.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, I remember that. Kurosawa.
Stupid name.
I know, like. You think about it, you're like, where did they come up with that? They're like, people will know that director, Akira Kurosawa. Let's call him Kurosawa.
You want to hear about stupid name changes? I think this led to Adam Cole leaving AEW, or is a part of the reason that they were discussing. I actually read this morning that it was being discussed that they call Adam Cole up to the main roster, change his name, give him a whole new look and a new gimmick. I'm like, why would you do that? He's already built such a following.
I mean, they've got clearly a Steiner, and they're calling him a Braun Breaker. So I mean,
yeah, they're changing Keith Lee's name too. Yeah, Bearcat.
Yeah, Bearcat. After Lloyd Bearcat Wright.
See, this is what happens when you have too much power. You start doing things only because you can do them, instead of doing them because they make sense or they're good for business.
Well, hey,
but again, G1. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What about day 2, Zeus? What'd you watch from day 2? Everything, or just the G1 matches, or?
I had it on. I let the whole thing play.
Well, hey, I'll tell you.
My memory. My problem is I watch so much in the same amount of time.
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing with these G1 matchups is a lot of them. You know, we've seen these guys go at each other. Of course, mostly in tag team matches, but you know, there's not a matchup we haven't seen in some way, shape, or form in this.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus the fact that I think the Twitter account Vintage Peresu, posted that 1992 G1 photo.
That picture was kind of inspiring you because now I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to watch that. I think we should all watch that again here real soon.
I think so too.
That lineup, and I mean, of course, it was huge because, we had 3 members of the Dangerous Alliance in it, or 4. But I mean, it's just
Rick Rude, Austin,
Rick Rude, Austin, and Double A were all in it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think all 3 should watch that and really do it because I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had Terry Taylor, Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, Barbarian, Barry Windham, Bam Bam Bigelow, Scott Norton, Tony Halme. Yeah, Tony Halme, Super Strong Machine, Hase Sasaki, Hashimoto, Shono, and Muto.
Jesus.
Right?
It's like it's like a who's who.
Right, and that was for the NWA World Title.
Yep. Yeah, we should totally watch this.
Yeah, I'm a little pumped up right now. I want to watch this.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
Day 2 did not have that caliber of matchups. You had Yoshihashi versus Evil.
You mentioned Masachono, the great, and Keiji Muto, then you go Yoshihashi.
You know how, right? Like, all these guys would have laughed at his ass. They're like, yeah, I'm going to be in a G1 this year. Step fuck down, little boy.
It's what we keep saying about Evil matches, right? You know now how they're going to go. He has a formula, and his
Hold
matches
on.
do this.
Patrick, what happened to Evil? Evil was awesome back when it was Evil Sonata. They were ruling the land as the IWGP World Tag Team Champions. I mean, what the fuck happened to Evil?
Because it's a tag team. He tagged in. Every time he got tired, he got tagged in. Every time he ran out of moves, he tagged in.
Oh, brutal. Yeah. He let me down.
The Evil matches, I mean, they're such go-away heat. Like, I didn't watch Shingo versus Evil from was it Grand Slam? Because I just don't want to watch an Evil match. I mean, I'm watching it in the G1, true, but that's different in a way.
Evil, you no good.
Jeff Kopp versus Chase Owens. It started off kind of ho-hum, but it picked up about halfway in, and it was all right. It wasn't the worst thing. Did you remember any of it, Zeus?
No.
Okay.
That my memory bank.
Sonata versus Tama Tonga. I thought it was a good match.
I did watch some of that.
Tonga escaped so many of Sonata's holds and roll-ups. I kind of thought maybe he was going to go over, but he did eventually get caught in a roll-up and lost. But I thought maybe he was going to win because of how much he was escaping.
I don't know. Him and he was talking shit to Jay White in an interview.
Oh.
Yeah, because Jay White's saying that, Bullet Club is, having problems and when he gets back, he's going to have to, sort some shit out.
Jay White's still in the States, right? He was on Impact, right?
Yeah. He's going to be at WrestleCade, so I'm assuming he's going to be.
Oh, shit, that's right. Yeah.
He's probably going to be in the States, through December.
Brutal.
Goto versus Touchy. Now you got that in my head. Dave.
Goto versus Touchy? Yeah. Gonna be a Touchy, exactly.
I thought it was a fun match. It wasn't anything out of this world, but I feel like they could have taken it up a notch or two. But it was fine. I thought it was weird the narrative in the match was kind of around choking. It had kind of an in-ring thread around choking. Whatever.
Yeah.
I guess when these people wrestle each other so many times, I'm sure sometimes they're like, "Hey, let's do this." Like I'm sure sometimes they just come up with like, "Let's just change it up. Let's do."
I'm gonna retry this. Oh, maybe not.
Right.
But the main event was like totally worth it in the day too. Tanahashi versus Okada.
Somebody went into the locker room and changed Okada's Duracells because he looked like he was actually invested in this match. His drop kicks looked like they weren't 4 inches off the ground anymore. He looked like he was actually invested in this match. He showed emotion. He sold good. Him and Tanahashi did real well. And all of a sudden, Tanahashi can move again. Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's where we talked about.
He could barely walk to the ring, but once he's in the ring, he's flying around, jumping around, hopping over ropes. I'm like, look at this guy.
Didn't we mention about Tanahashi Ibushi from Grand Slam that Tanahashi wasn't moving very well, right?
No, he wasn't
in that match. But here, and this is just like 3 weeks something later. Like he was moving good in this match. He wasn't moving so good on day 4. It's Goto, but so it must be a day by day basis with him.
I thought it was a good match. I liked Okada versus Tanahashi, and yes, the right person went over. Okay, it was good. All right. I mean, and then how can we not have an Okada match without the best move ever created of all times of submission holds in that stupid, ridiculous money clip? But it was good. It was a good match. I enjoyed it.
What about that, like leaping sit-down tombstone pile driver that Okada did?
Yeah, Okada. Yeah. That was kind of
brutal looking.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, holy moly, that was brutal looking. I really enjoyed it.
And he showed his speed in that match. I haven't seen Okada show a little bit of his speed in a while. He actually showed his speed.
Yeah, he was definitely faster. I think he's feeling energized. Maybe
his back feels better.
Maybe he knows something we don't. I don't know.
Or his back feels better, or cortisone shots are working. Who knows?
I don't know what the ultimate booking is going to be in the G1, but Okada's kind of due to get a run on top again. He's been off. He's been like.
I want him to win the World Heavyweight Championship just so he can do exactly what Zeus wants him to do and what I want him to do, what you want him to do, Pedro. What everybody wants him to do is to take that shitty looking Transformer belt, throw it against the case, the glass breaks like Austin, and then he grabs the fucking IWGP, the old school looking belt, and says, "I am the world champion." That would be kind of hot. I would lose my shit if he did that.
You're wrong, James. That's not what I want. I want him to transform them. Go,
IWGP Championship.
Like a toy. I want him to transform it.
He said, all of a sudden the belt transformed into Shia LaBeouf.
As far as the Shia LaBeouf, it's like yelling inspirational.
Although I have to say, you've got to watch Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, what's that?
That's the independent movie he did, where he's like a grifter. He's kind of homeless, and he runs into this kid who wants to be a pro wrestler, and he's got I don't want to misname his differently abled issue. But he wants to go train in North Carolina, and he's in like a home. He's like in an assisted living home for people with mental health issues, and he escapes to go, and he's like, he's just like in a freaking in a gown, young boy with Down syndrome.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's a great movie, and the girl who's in charge of the or one of the people who's in charge of the place where he's staying at, she's got to go after him, and she ends up kind of helping him out and everything. It's a really sweet story, and it's got Jake Roberts and Mick Foley in it at the end. And,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to look this up.
So,
but
yeah, back to transforming the IWGP title.
Transform. I thought it was a good match. I want Okada to win the whole thing. I want Okada to win the G1. I want Okada to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I want Okada to fucking pull a Shane Douglas and throw down that piece of shit belt and bring up the old school belt and make it new again. I want shit like that. Stir some shit up.
Real quickly, day 3, we'll just go through this real fast because I know we got other stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yano, Great-O-Khan. I just want to say, I'm not saying this is a great match or anything you really need to go out of your way to see, but it was like the best Yano match since at least his match against Zack Sabre Jr. in last year's G1. Do you remember that one, Zeus, where Zack Sabre Jr. kind of made him do like an actual match?
Yeah.
So this match is more along the line. There is some antics still in it, but it was more along the lines of an actual match. So yeah. I thought it was like one of the better Yano things in a while. Kenta versus Eugero, I was shocked because Eugero was like motivated. He was like putting fire into his work. It was kind of moving, and they had they were like stiff, and they were pulling out some counters and sequences I just wasn't expecting these two to like do, and there was actually some decent near falls, and I thought it was a pretty good match. I was kind of surprised. And then you had Ibushi versus Ishii.
That was good. The last physical, Ibushi was doing his best Shingo impersonation, trying to get physical with fucking Ishii. It was good. It was good. He was throwing those flurry of fucking elbows and forearms in the corner. I was like, look at this guy. Who's he think he is? Shingo? And then Ishii said, oh yeah, watch this. Bah! Headbutt right to the face, and that ended that real quick. But it was good shit.
There is one point late in that match, Ibushi, like you see him on camera, and he's got like welts like on his face and on.
Yeah, that's from the
headbutt. Well, yeah, and he has this expression on his face as if he loves this, almost like he lives for this. And you're just like, wrestlers are kind of crazy, aren't they? Like they're just kind of nuts.
But then he did a Kamigoya a couple of times and knocked out Ishii. I was like, oh, look at this. Okay. But I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a good physical match,
Yeah.
I don't think they talk enough about
Ibushi's physical.
At least not, well, it's not that. It's just that, like, I mean, if you look at how Ibushi, was built up, as a god.
Yeah.
Through last year's G1, through Wrestle Kingdom and everything,
It was He-Man.
And then, it's like, he seemed like he was poised to, for a long run. And then then Ospreay, took him down. So, I think that should have been more into play with everything he's doing now, is that, he's still having to deal with this thing where, it's like, it should either be shaping him or hurting him. The fact that he, him especially was, he was actually, believing all that hype, about him being, a god and whatnot. So.
Yeah. I totally agree with everything you said, Zeus. You're right. And that match what Ishii showed me was that he could be booking in that time of tough style matches because it shows he could pull it off.
James, I don't know if y'all remember last year in the G1, these two beat the fuck out of each other as well.
Yeah.
Ibushi and Ishii stiffed the fuck out of each other last year. You remember that, Zeus?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I did. I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, these two, Ishii just. I think that's just Ishii's style of match.
Ishii brings it out of everybody,
Just beat the fuck out of each
other. Yeah, that's it. If not, if I think Ishii tells him before the match, if we don't beat the fuck out of each other, I'm just going to beat the fuck out of you.
I will legit beat you backstage.
Yeah. So
I thought Shingo Zack Sabre Jr. was fantastic. I thought
it was a great match. It was really good. It was really good.
It was again Zack Sabre Jr. waging that strategic war of limb destruction, and Shingo was just trying to push past it, over and over, and but Zack, it just got to a point where he's like, no, I better tap out, or like I'm gonna lose. Like he saw what happened to Naito, so it's almost like, no, if I don't tap out.
How about this as a fantasy booking?
I'm not even get to do more stuff,
How about this as a fantasy booking? Zack Sabre Jr. versus Pete Dunne in a 30-minute fucking submission match.
They may have wrestled before, actually, but I'm not in a submission match. I just mean they may have wrestled each other before.
Yeah.
But
I like to see that.
Did y'all see Zack Sabre Jr.'s?
Hello?
Oh, did you see his interview?
Hello?
Oh, sorry. I keep going out.
Yeah, I don't hear him. Do you hear him?
Yeah, I keep going out.
Are you there, Pedro?
Yes.
Okay.
He had a not the promo in the ring, but he did a promo backstage, and he said something like, "Well, there's the Japanese dragon down. I wonder where is the American dragon?"
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he didn't sound like that. I'm sure he sounded like this. Go ahead, Zeus.
No, that's done with the Japanese dragon. Where's the American dragon?
Yeah, it sounded like a little, like that.
So
brutal.
I guess they're
James.
Yes, Gumby.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
What?
That's from Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, okay.
One of those Hell's Kitchen. He goes over to one of the chefs and he puts 2 pieces of bread, one over each ear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what are you? Idiot sandwich. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was good.
So James, you haven't seen day 4, right?
No, but you go ahead. Yeah, it's all good.
Tanahashi Goto, it was fun, but I was kind of surprised. I don't know about you, Zeus. I was surprised how sloppy this match was. They were really sloppy in this match.
Did we gloss over the Tanahashi Okada?
Oh no, we talked about it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember,
that's how the whole Transformer belt came from. Remember?
Okay. Tell us about Tanahashi Okada.
I just I thought that was my favorite match so far. That was the most enjoyable. But once again,
Rainmaker, baby, Rainmaker.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say real fast on Okada Tanahashi, some of their matches. Like after their peak of matches, some of the matches that have kind of come after that, between them and the G1 and stuff, have kind of been okay, but not outstanding compared to their past matches. Because these two have wrestled each other a bunch of times.
Yeah, a billion times. I mean, and you know what? And half enough that Tanahashi keeps taking that DDT on the outside floor a billion times too.
But I wanted to say this match. The one we're talking about was like a return to form for both of these guys. I felt like
it was good stuff
against each other.
Yeah,
I felt it was their best match against each other since at least one of the Tokyo Dome matches they've had.
I think they saw the picture that was posted of the 92 G1 lineup, and they said, I think we better do something about this because our lineup doesn't look nothing like that. So there you go.
But yeah, Tanahashi Goto was just, I found it was fun, but I was surprised it was just so sloppy. And also Tanahashi was not moving well in this match.
Well, he gave it all in that Okada match. I mean, that was it. It was done after that. He was on E. Done.
Any thoughts on it, Zeus? Tanahashi Goto, or?
I don't. Nothing.
No.
Tama Tonga Chase Owens, I thought was actually a good match.
I watched some of that. Yeah, that was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was an action-packed match. I was surprised how clean it was since they're both Bullet Club, but I guess that's why it was clean since they're both Bullet Club. I have a little note about Chase Owens. For a guy that ugly, I mean, let's be honest, it's been pretty ugly. He really needs to work out a bit more. Like if you're going to be that ugly,
I know he dropped about 20 pounds about a year ago,
right?
And then he gained it back.
He needs to build his muscles up a bit.
He doesn't need to wear that Texas belt. All you gotta do is paint it on his belly, and it'll look like you have him wearing a belt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god! I wish they would do something with that belt. Like it's just
a
prop. Like I wish
it's just a prop. Yeah.
I wish he was in the New Japan Strong and it was something happening.
Have him defend it. That'd be kind of hot if he defends it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine Tanahashi is the Texas champion.
How about Eugero? That'd be brutal.
Oh no! Well, James,
that would be with a belt.
If Peter has the belt on her and she's shaking her backside, that's fine. I'm okay with that visual. But
I want to see Peter versus fucking Kimono Wanalea. That's what I want to see.
Yoshihashi, Jeff Cobb, we alluded to this earlier. I thought the match was fine and nothing out of this world, but it was fine. And then it became that all those super kicks, just the flurry of super kick, a Canadian destroyer, and then super kick. And I was like, what is happening to my G1? I'm watching G1 and then now this is happening. Why is this happening? I was not happy about that. Did you have any feelings on that, Zeus? Did it bother you in any way? Or not?
It's no, just kind of, man.
I mean, but wasn't it weird Yoshihashi pulled out a Canadian destroyer? I
mean, it's, he's under this push. They're I don't know. I just don't.
You want to know something funny? Nobody likes watching Yoshihashi matches, and then even in New Japan Collection, every time I get a Yoshihashi card, I'm looking to trade it.
I know. He's like, God, you can't get rid of the game.
His cards and Yano's cards are like.
Oh yeah, here, take my Yano card. Yeah.
No.
Oh, and don't forget the Chase Owens and.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Desperado. El Phantasmo.
Oh yeah, I don't want Phantasmo cards either. I thought Sonata and Taichi or Touchy. I thought they had a really good match. Oh.
Touchy.
I went out. I thought the match was good. You didn't like it, Zeus?
Yeah, it just didn't. It didn't grip me to the point where I was intently watching it.
Yeah, so far it hasn't been but we have to wait. I gotta watch Night 4 and some other stuff. I have to squeeze it between Yankees Red Sox. So.
And then Okada Evil, it's like, again, it's an evil match. He's got his formula. This was his formula, except this time Okada wins. So it's. I was more interested in there are these ladies in the crowd in the front. I was more invested watching their reactions in that match than the match itself. Because there's this one little lady, I had noticed her during the show, And she was doing all these polite kind of clapping and stuff. And then Okada comes out, and now she's got a banner on her, like a blanket, like an Okada banner.
Oh, like one of those towels?
Yeah. And then, you know, she's all excited. When the match was over, she's like clapping so excitedly. And there's this trio of ladies, and the one in the middle, like when Okada was during this match, she was telling she's so invested on the edge of her seat, just like, I was like, oh my God, that was more it's interesting to me than the actual match, but that's because I'm just checked out on the Evo matches.
Yeah. It's unrelated to the G1, but it's still New Japan. But you know they you know, kind of traveling the world here, and they went and they recruited. I can't remember the name of their tag team, but it's Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. They were gonna be in the G1 a couple of years ago, and they were going to be in Tag League, and it fell through. But they were like, you know, highly, you know, they were well regarded there, but they were revealed to be the newest members of United Empire. So they could be.
I heard something about that. Yeah. I heard something about that. Yeah.
So they could be on their way for Tag League this year, which would be nice to have somebody, you know, different in there besides, you know, Yoshihashi and Goto and Ishii and Yano and some other combination that's not fucking Goto and Ishii that makes fucking sense.
Well, you know who's been having a good week? It's been Kazuchika Okada. He's had a good week so far in the G1. You know who's not had a good week overall in life? Ric Flair.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And that kind of leads us to Dark Side of the Ring.
Yep. Are you still with us, Pedro? Guess he's not.
Pedro, you there? No, I guess he's not. All right, so we'll wait for him.
Okay, he's muted. So the news. This is like the second half of part of season 3,
right?
Dark Side of the Ring, and it was Chris Kanyon.
Who's better than Kanyon?
Who better than Kanyon? You know, we all get to know as Mortis first. Mortis and Wrath, the a couple of guys that were really straight out of Dungeons and Dragons. There to face Glacier, who once again they learned nothing from Lasertron. He needed a tag team partner, right? He needed a tag team partner that would complement him. Because he
Lasertron and a new breed. Remember that? Oh,
right. And so Lasertron was he was wrestling with Jimmy Valiant or whoever wasn't wrestling but they should have been like a Lasertron and a Jumbotron or something
a Titantron,
something Pikatron. I don't know.
Yeah, something. But I did like the motor gimmick. I liked the Glazer gimmick too. It just wasn't all that. I mean, it was a good it was good visually.
Right, and it's not like he didn't know some martial arts or anything like that. It's just, I mean, when you base a character on a video game character from Mortal Kombat, I mean, people expect a lot.
Unless you're not doing a fatality in the ring. I mean, come on, you got to come strong.
Right. Now you talk about like if they'd Dungeons and Dragoned up Kurosawa, to team
that would have been hot.
Glacier. That would have been a great, a great pairing to have against Wrath of Mortis.
Yeah.
And
I like the Mortis. I thought that was one of the best looking masks at that time. That mask looked really good. I was like, holy shit, that looks badass.
Yeah. I mean, he had the whole look was really good, and with the green accent on it, it really made him look like it made him look like another video game character that kind of fit into this little universe that was going on with Glacier.
And the shit that he did in the ring was pretty good too. He was really, he was making people ooh and ah,
Sorry, something came up. I completely forgot that his introduction as Mortis was around the whole Glacier thing.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
Yeah. Like seeing the thing, I was like, oh yeah, that's how it got introduced.
Right. Yeah, because Glacier needed a heel. Who's Glacier going to fight? Let's bring in Mortis. So it was done like that, his natural enemy.
And that's the thing is one of the great things for us as fans was the fact that WCW was also owned by Turner, who owned New Line Cinema.
Yep.
And that's how they got the in on some of these, licenses and things. And I mean, because
excuse me,
right? I mean, they didn't, they weren't able to, they were able to kind of finagle their way into stuff like this, whereas like if WWE had done the Glacier gimmick, I think that would have, New Line Cinema and everybody would have come out of the woodwork and been like, no, you're not doing that.
Right. I thought the Mortis gimmick was good. If we had to do Glacier to get Mortis, fine. Yeah, because I thought the Mortis character was good. I thought the stuff that he was doing in the ring was at that time was like holy shit, And we all watched the Dark Side of the Ring episode, and they were making so much of him being gay. I thought he was the only one making so much about him being gay. I think the more important thing was that he had mental health issues that weren't addressed. That it wasn't that that was the more pressing issue. Was the mental health issues, not him being gay. He was bipolar and it went unaddressed and untreated. That was the issue to me.
Yeah, I mean, James, you and I have talked in the past about dealing with people with bipolar.
Yes,
and we know it's like. I mean, Zeus, you may know as well. I don't know if you, but it's just it can be tough and it can be really difficult.
It could be a little brutal. All you gotta do is watch that movie, My Super Ex-Girlfriend. That says it all. But it's tough, But I thought that was more the bigger issue than him being gay. He was worried about being out. And yes, it was a different time back then. I get that, but he made actually more of that than it should have been. I thought his mental issues were far, far, far more important to deal with than any kind of sexual orientation. And on a side note, I'm sorry, but John Cena and Ric Flair saying that he wasn't good enough, I think it's total bullshit.
They were just
he wasn't part of the WWF idea and mold.
Right.
And he was definitely not a creation of them, and he wasn't he wasn't some I mean, and that's really what you mean. It's like if Vince isn't going to get behind you 100%, or at least get behind you enough to let you do what you want, you're just not going to last long there. And it's just I think everybody was saying all the wrong things, and but just wasn't. I mean, it was just obvious that he wasn't destined long there, just for reasons that people didn't think that, for whatever reason that they tried to come up with, that he didn't fit that mold.
It's funny because I was watching AEW last night, and I was watching Luchasaurus in the ring, and I just happened to be thinking about today's show, and I was saying to myself, wow, can you imagine if Mortis would have debuted today? Chris Kanyon debuted today as Mortis in AEW, how much over he would be? Of all the shit that he used to do in the ring, haven't done now.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, I mean, he's one of those guys that kind of inspired so many and helped others. You know,
yeah.
How many others?
Brian Cage, the Young Bucks.
I don't think wrestling would be quite the same as it is right now without Canyon.
I think you're right.
Did you see like I don't know if I'm still on it.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, okay. They're showing a clip of him doing like a suplex where he's standing on the second rope and the person's on the apron or whatever, and he suplexes them back in the ring. And I was like, did Ibushi get that from Kenyon?
Possible. Who knows? You know, who knows?
I know Ibushi's is the German suplex version. I know, but I was like,
yeah. Oh, but isn't that where Brian Cage said he got it from?
Oh, okay, yeah.
He said he got that from Canyon.
Actually, like the funniest part of the thing, I thought it was when Canyon went in the ring with Mae Young, and Mae Young beat the shit out of him for real. I thought that was funny. She was like, "Holy shit, she's shooting on me! She's shooting on me!"
Just write it out, kid. Yeah, but that's what everybody said about Mae Young. It's like if you didn't go hard against her, she was gonna beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
she was Ishii before it was Ishii,
right? She really probably was. You know, she was a tough broad.
Yep.
I got at Fall Brawl '97. It was Wrath of Mortis with James Vandenberg against. They beat Ming and the Barbarian. They beat the Faces of Fear.
Wow! Right? How did that happen?
I don't know. I got to go back and watch it.
How did that happen? Holy shit! Who booked that?
Yeah.
But I thought, I thought Canyon was. I thought he was a very good wrestler. He knew how to sell. He knew how to bump. He knew how to tell a story in the ring. Again, his issues were met. He was bipolar. You know, that was the problem. That was the issue, and it wasn't addressed.
Well, and on top of drinking and drug use.
On top of everything else, right?
And let's not kid ourselves. Being a closeted gay man in wrestling in the late '90s. Completely different than today.
No, absolutely, without question.
People were, just massive, dickheads about it back then, and it's not like they're not a whole lot better now, but it's just
more acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a long list of issues. So
but it was funny because nobody ever gave shit to I mean, like at least to my knowledge, nobody ever gave shit Pat Patterson for being gay because Pat Patterson would probably punch you in the mouth.
And as we found out too that nobody asked Raven to be on this program.
They were good friends.
Yeah, they were really good friends, and somebody was saying, I haven't read it, but somebody said that in Canyon's autobiography that he mentions how important Raven was to him, and what good friends they were, and so that was a strange. They talked to Vandenberg a lot.
Yeah.
They talked to him a lot. I didn't think that. Did you guys feel that DDP really added a lot to that conversation?
No.
I think he was just more background than anything else.
I mean, I didn't think I was, you kind of expected. It's like, well, he should have some great shit to add.
No, he really did. I found more interesting stuff from the Young Bucks. I was interested in what they had to say.
Yeah.
I was like, really? I didn't know that. I was like, okay, cool. And they've really looked up to him.
Yeah. Shark Boy tweeted out how much Canyon helped him. Shark Boy is awesome. Helped him get signed at WCW. Helped him find his first place to live in Atlanta. I think the only thing I think the worst thing that WCW did with Kanyon was call him the innovator of offense because they'd been calling Tommy Dreamer in ECW the innovator of violence for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was probably the biggest disservice to Kanyon. They should have just kind of let him be that. But they did. Everybody was kind of lifting and borrowing from ECW in the late 90s there.
Yeah.
I was telling a friend of mine this week when we were talking about this episode. I was saying if he hadn't had the tragic end that he had, if he could have somehow stayed alive and got some help or whatever, I wonder if he would have had a resurgence like PCO has had the past few years.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it happened.
Like, I just feel like he would have found a home somewhere eventually, like a wrestling home. Maybe not the WWE, but somewhere.
No, certainly not. I mean, but probably Impact or Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Even as an agent or a teacher, yeah.
Although, like I think y'all were saying this earlier, a lot of stuff with him was just kind of self-sabotage in a way. Like, it felt like sometimes some of the things like felt like the problems with the WWE, the thing that ultimately got him kind of blacklisted was just him just being, just like fucking up every chance.
Like, he would show up. He would show up unannounced. Right. Everything that every one step forward he took 2 steps backwards afterwards.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate, but that's what it was.
Yeah, and I mean, Vandenberg said he was ready to shoot his ass.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit!
So he must have been.
They asked Vandenberg twice. He goes, "You really going to shoot him?" He was like, "Hell yeah, I was going to shoot him." I was like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, he didn't know what that choking thing was going to lead to. So,
yeah. He was like, yo, he had my shit in the Adam's apple crop. No. I was going to shoot his ass. I was like, okay.
It's just, and that's the crazy thing, too. It's like they kept patching things up, and he kept coming to visit.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that shows you that I think that it seems that Kanyon had a huge heart. I mean, there's so many guys that, that he's apparently helped. And, it's just a tragic end, to a guy who gave us a lot, as fans, I think.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
And they did talk to Jericho in this. They interviewed Jericho in it.
He didn't say much either, though.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say much either, but he said a whole lot more than he said in the plane ride from hell.
Yeah, he didn't say. All he did was narrate. Yeah. All he did was narrate in that one.
Yeah. I plead the fifth on that.
Yeah. Exactly. He pleads the fifth.
Were you on the plane? I plead the fifth. I was on a plane one time in one country somewhere. Yeah, okay.
I was so drunk I don't remember anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So many people could have handled that episode better. Like for themselves, like they could have handled it better.
I'm ready for next week's episode where it's going to be Onita and FMW. That should be interesting.
Oh, wow, that should be good.
Well, Onita was a crazy bastard.
I mean, he still is.
Yeah, he still is, yeah.
And he was also, kind of quite crafty as a promoter, He finagled a lot of deals that you wouldn't think. Apparently he had to do the job to get most of them done, but
I had to be at that man's best side, let me tell you. Yeah. I got to do anything. Anything. It's crazy.
I mean, we might talk about this next week. Maybe I should save my Onita thoughts for next week. If we get
save it for next week, because we'll all watch Dark Side of the Ring and we'll have something to talk about. While I'm down in Delray Beach sipping on cold beers and eating hot pizzas.
Ding ding.
Woo! But I feel bad for the way things ended with Chris Canyon. But it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people learn from this. That's the only thing that you take. If there's someone struggling, I mean, yeah, it's a lot different than it was back then. But still, if you have issues,
people say it's a lot different. It's still really hard for people with like depression and mental health.
Oh, absolutely,
issues,
absolutely, yeah.
To reach out because I mean, I've seen people with bipolar, and I've seen the other people having to deal with them because they can be really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it's not easy.
And people just be like, they need to just grow up. They need to just get over it. Like I see this a lot. And it's just
it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, people don't understand. Like they have a chemical imbalance. Like they can't, reach that conclusion like other people can. They can't just. It's difficult, and it's difficult for the people having to deal with it too. It's difficult all around, and it's difficult sometimes for the people who want to help, but it's like you can't. Some things are out of your control. You can't find solutions for people.
But hey, who's better than Canyon? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. Mark it out, baby. Woo! Mark out Mania. Talking Canyon and G1 for all of y'all. Yeah.
We're going to do the classic thing now. Keep going.
Talking G1 and saying about my boy. Watching No Carter. Rolling win one. Yay. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah. I'm going to do a hip-hop version one day. A rap version.
You want me to beatbox? Boop. I can't beatbox.
No, we don't want you to beatbox.
You want me to attempt rapping? Is that what I'm hearing?
What part of no you don't understand? The N or the O? No.
My name is Pedro, and I'm here to say.
Anyways. Wow.
Hey. Zeus, you got anything? You got anything to plug?
No.
Zeus has been on a little roll lately. Squirrel, brother. That's a good job for you. Good job. Good job, man. You've been doing it up.
Let me see something real fast because I saw on Facebook. I wanted to promote real fast. So we had a guest a while back, Jay. From Man Eating Cake Comics. They are where is it? They are at let me see if I can read this. This Saturday, September 25th, the Hickory Comic Con in lovely Hickory, North Carolina, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Man Eating Cake Comics.
Let me tell you something about the city of Hickory. All right. The city of Hickory is quite old. And the downtown area was built it was kind of established in the 20s. And it is full of the most stupid one-way streets.
Oh my God.
Okay. And you'll be going down one road, it will continue on. But you can't go down it because if you go straight across, it's a one-way coming back at you. And then it'll be like West First Street, and it'll be like Northwest First Street, and it's a little town, but it's a fucking nightmare if you don't know it.
I live on a one-way dead-end street.
So hit that. If you're in the Hickory, North Carolina area, go to Comic-Con, go see Man Eating Cake Comics, and get you a free sketch from Jared.
Yeah, man, he does good shit, man. He do good stuff. They do good work.
I hope Jay finishes that set of V1 Transformer Autobot heads.
Oh yeah.
Zeus, after you finish with your studies, brother, you gotta do that Kilowog and the Green Lantern Corps, brother. I think that'll come out awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think that'll look great. That's just me. I'm just saying, I think it'll look hot, man. Because if it's anything like the Sinestro and that guy Gardner you did, holy shit. You know?
Yeah. Also, shout outs to
hashtag no looking at pictures. You know what I'm
saying? Shout out to Another Miserable podcast. They're still pumping out some really good shows there for people to hear.
Yes,
especially
sir.
Because we're in Halloween season, so you want to go check out,
yes,
Another Miserable podcast. And of
Halloween
course,
Kills is coming up. Eminem. Way Too Real.
Way Too Real. We mentioned earlier. On Wednesdays, check out my Twitter or any of my social media. You'll likely find Tom's Weird Life, my webcomic.
Poor Tom.
This week, yeah, I know.
Poor Tom, he's just weird.
Aliens.
Yeah, he's got ghosts and aliens right now. So who knows what will come next for that poor guy? I think this week on my Bandcamp, which is pedroboyd.bandcamp.com, there will be a release of my original songs that were played on this first season of Friday Night Jams. So I'm gonna have a release on there coming.
Bring lots of chocolate because that's the one where people die. It's just good stuff. It's good stuff. Just people die.
It's just my original song, so it's not the covers. Okay. I can't put the covers up.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. You can. Yeah. So nobody dies. Yay!
Well, I mean, sometimes people die in my songs, so I don't know. I just can't think if there's that or not.
But they always kick out at 2.
And not this week, but I think the week after. Let me see. It'll be first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I think October 5th will be the season 2 premiere of Looking at Cards. So that'll
awesome.
So I'll remind people of that next week. But
God, I missed Looking at Cards. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, the season 1 ended and season 2 is about to begin. So.
That's awesome.
Thanks everyone for hanging out, marking out. We'll see y'all next week. James will be coming to us live from Delray Beach.
I'll be in Delray Beach live. I'll probably have my boy with me, Lord Lux. He used to watch wrestling when he was a kid. He left it, and then 20 years later, just rediscovered it again. So now it's his newfound old passion. So that'd be kind of interesting to get into.
Yes.
As we sip on ice cold beers.
You show him some damn 92 G1 with that.
Yeah.
With
that. No.
Zeus. You'll ruin him. He'll stop watching wrestling.
I'm going to show him Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to show him. I'm going to do a binge one. So all 3. I'm not going to show him the Redheaded Stepchild. I'm just doing them the first 3 seasons. So.
That should be good. Everyone, take care. Stay safe. We'll see y'all next week. And adios.
Peace. Later.